In this video, I'll teach you how to become a bowmaster, but first, roll the intro. As you have seen from the intro, a good bow user is hard to counter and a massive advantage to any team. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a bow build using good weapon pairings, how to play solo or as a fire team, tips and tricks, strategies, how to make this build one-shot enemy guardians, and some facts about bows. So I highly recommend you watch this video till the end, as this is your complete guide to becoming a bowmaster. Before we dive into weapon recommendations, it is important to understand what we're trying to achieve with a bow, how we plan to use them, and what archetypes are best for achieving that goal before we go into the build. You can use bows to one-shot enemy guardians, or you can use them to clean up kills with another weapon. I highly recommend precision frame bows for PvP because of their damage output, and they are best for one-hit kills or cleanup kills. Precision bows do more damage per arrow than lightweight frame. Although lightweight frames have a lower draw time, Destiny 2 is a fast-paced game and it's best to get more damage into the enemy in a short space of time, as this will decrease your TTK. So when looking for a bow, make sure to look for the following. Try to aim for higher accuracy stat. The higher the accuracy, the easier it is to land your shots. Try to get a faster draw time. This will enable you to follow up with another shot from your bow faster. Try to get accuracy masterwork if possible, but reload and handling masterwork are also good. Also try to get bows with perks like swashbuckler to increase the damage per shot after getting a kill. Whilst we are on the topic of perks, we do post our weapon rules and talk about different Destiny 2 stuff in my Discord server. I have a small but growing community, so if you want to get in touch with me and other like-minded individuals, that's where you'll find us. Come hang out, play any game, talk about any game. We would love to have you there. Link is in the description, by the way. Precision bows. If you want to secure a kill, you will need to hit one critical shot and swap to your hand cannon for one body shot. Your hand cannon can be 120 or 140 RPM. However, it must be noted, if you hit one critical shot with a hand cannon and then swap to your bow and hit a body shot, the enemy guardian will live. Lightweight frames such as Whispering Slap or Arsenic Bite, you will need to be very good with accuracy and you will need to hit critical shots. Body shots will not help you here, and you will find enemies running away with low health, leaving you frustrated as you are increasing your time to kill. To secure a kill with a lightweight frame bow, you need to hit 2 critical shots with the bow or 3 body shots. If you are hot swapping, then it's 1 critical shot from bow, 1 critical shot from a hand cannon. What we can take away from this theory is that precision bows are better because they do more damage and allow room for inaccuracy in your aim. Also, did I say 3 body shots or 2 precision shots with a lightweight frame? Why use lightweight frame at all when a hand cannon can 3-tap you and kill you faster? Anyway, if you don't miss your shots, then try the lightweight frame, otherwise stick to the precision frame. So moving on to the best suited class and subclass. This build goes to no other than a hunter with a Void 3.0 on Mobius Quiver subclass. Because you get invisibility on dodge, you have a smoke bomb for misdirecting your enemy. You can also fire 3 volleys of arrow 2 times just in case you miss the first shot. In addition to what I just said, invisibility will help you disengage and vanish from engagements, or the opposite, where you can flank an enemy team or surprise an enemy guardian when they are least expecting you to be there. This class and subclass makes for the build to come nicely together because you can pair the perfect exotic called Oathkeepers, which we will talk about in a moment. Oh, and by the way, I normally try these builds out live on Twitch before I make my YouTube videos, so come drop me a follow, but most importantly, come by and hang out in my stream. Let's have a chat about anything you like. I'm known to be helpful and I never miss a chat message. Link is in the description, by the way. Let us look at the best complementing weapons to use with a bow. I have tested these combinations of weapons so you don't have to, and that is why I'm recommending a perfect pairing weapon list. The king of the show is the Monarch, but worry not, because I do have other suggestions that you can use if you don't have a Monarch Luminark. Like I said before, this is your complete guide. So the best recommended bow, first of all, on the top of the list will be Luminark. Obviously the star of the show, this thing is powerful and the catalyst is perfect for healing. If you have a Warlock in your team with an Empowering Rift, by standing in it, this bow will one-shot enemy guardians, leaving them very salty. So look out for those rifts and make use of them. Second bow on the list is Biting Winds. This is found on the Europa and you can obtain it from Varix by completing his bounties. This bow is in the primary slot and this bow can roll with Swashbuckler. So if you get a melee kill, that automatically gives you Swashbuckler times 5 perk on your bow, allowing you to one-shot enemy guardians. Trust me, you are definitely getting teabagged after you finish watching this video. Moving on to the third bow on the list is Under Your Skin. This bow was introduced in the Witch Queen, so it means you can craft this bow to your liking. This thing can roll with Opening Shot and Hipfire Grip, which is very nice combination on a bow. You can also go for Opening Shot and Perpetual Motion or Archer's Tempo. However, it is worth keeping the Opening Shot in column 4 for PvP, as this is basically a free hit and hard to miss, unless of course you're aiming in the sky. Moving on is Accrued Redemption. This bow can be obtained from the Garden of Salvation raid. It's worth noting this bow can roll with Moving Target and Archer's Tempo, both fantastic options for PvP. Remember, your draw time decreases with Archer's Tempo, so it's definitely a good choice. Then we have the Point of the Stag. This is another bow I recommend because it rolls with Vorpal Weapon and Eye of the Storm. However, it does have a lower draw time and lower accuracy stat because it's curated, so you can't really stack any accuracy. Moving on is the Whispering Slab. I know this is a lightweight frame bow, obviously not the best choice as I explained earlier. However, if you have access to this, then I highly recommend going for the Opening Shot Hipfire roll. This will make it easier to land your shots and will be more forgiving. Not the best, but only if it's your last resort. Honorable mention goes to Wishender and Trinity Ghoul. I didn't recommend these bows because they are situational. For Trinity Ghoul, you must get a precision kill before your next arrow gives you lightning chaining capabilities, but we are looking for consistency here. Wishender is also good for seeing your enemies through walls, but defeats the purpose of wearing the Oathkeepers, as you will need to aim down sight to see your enemies, thus leaving your radar close, and it's also distracting and makes you tunnel vision a lot. I also found that for some reason it just wasn't crispy. I don't know why, but it rolls with PvE perks, thus making it better for PvE activities. Wanna slay some Taken? Take the Wishender. So we're finally getting somewhere and we're moving on to the best complementing weapons to use with your bows. Let's start off with Steady Hand. This is my first choice to pair with Luminark. I highly recommend pairing a Steady Hand with Quick Draw. This works well since you're most likely going to play passive and defensive, and the 120 RPM archetype will give you that extra range and damage per shot required. Of course, you can pair a 140 hand cannon as well, but Quick Draw on Steady Hands allows for nice hot swap speed and also does more damage. Even enemy guardians rocking 6 resilience or more wouldn't survive this combination. Second up, we have the Lumina. If you don't have a Luminark, then you can pair your Lumina with the bow Under Your Skin. Since Lumina allows you to buff your allies using noble rounds, this gives you Blessing of the Sky perk. This is a damage buff and it allows you to one-shot enemy guardians using your bow. Then moving on, we have the Igneous Hammer. Igneous Hammer once used to be fantastic in the 120 hand cannon meta, but it's still a good option to pair with a bow. Reason being is because it can roll with perks like Quick Draw and Elemental Capacitor, which can make it feel very snappy, and they also have really good range and do a lot of damage. They can be paired very well if you have a nice roll of Biting Winds in your primary slot. Moving on, we have the Palindrome, which is known as the Hand Cannon King or King of Hand Cannons. This hand cannon has really nice overall stats and feels very good. It also makes a fantastic dueling weapon. It rolls with Quick Draw and Rangefinder. Definitely a good option, if not the best in the energy slot. Then we have Thorn. In 6v6, the Thorn is an excellent choice since it has a very high handling stat and can make hot swapping fast. It also provides you with Devour damage perk, which makes for forgiving build if you don't always hit critical shots, that is. This is the only combination that allows one body shot from a bow and one headshot from the Thorn with the Devour perk active to secure a kill. Now I know this is situational, which is why I mentioned good option for 6v6. Otherwise you can stick to the others that I mentioned, which are good for 3v3s. Top tip: if you're on a small map like Anomaly or Exodus Blue, put on a shotgun of your choice to pair with the bow. Should the enemy start rushing you because you were passive or defensive and they start hard aping you, just put them in their place, okay? Moving on to the heavy weapon slot. You ask, what heavy weapons should we use? Not much to recommend here, use whatever you want. But if you really want to be that true hunter, then put on a Leviathan's Breath, run 3 bows, why not? Hell, if you're good at it, show it off. Now that we've spoken about best recommended weapons and the bows, it's time to talk about the armor and stats to make this build come together. Earlier we mentioned Oathkeepers. This is your main exotic armor. I highly recommend running this armor because of 2 main reasons. Firstly, you can indefinitely hold the draw on your bow and it guarantees the perfect draw on the Monarch. This means you don't have to push the enemy, wait for them to push you, or peek a lane and delete them for making that mistake. It's a game of patience, or if you like me, you can play aggressively with it and go on a killing spree. Secondly, you can keep your radar active, monitoring enemy movement and looking out for flanks when not aiming down sights, as well as keeping your bow drawn and ready to shoot at any time. The Oathkeepers are seriously slept on, but are seriously good when paired with bows. It's a match made in heaven. If I'm honest, do not use a bow without Oathkeepers. Oathkeepers is a must. If you don't have one, get one. If you have one, use it. So now that we have the weapons and armor covered, it's time to move on to the mods. The mods that I am recommending you have to use them because without these mods, the build is incomplete and the true potential will not be unleashed. So starting off with the helmet, make sure you run a bow targeting mod and a hand cannon targeting mod. On your arms or gauntlets, you want to run bow dexterity and hand cannon dexterity. On your chest piece, make sure you run bow unflinching and hand cannon unflinching. On your legs, obviously run whatever you want, but I tend to run hand cannon holster because it keeps reloading my hand cannon when I have it stored away. Also, if you're on a hunter, it might be worth running Powerful Friends and Radiant Light because that will give you 20 strength and 20 mobility. Honorable mention goes to mods such as Precision Charge, Taking Charge and High Energy Fire, which gives you a damage buff, but do not focus on these mods if you don't have extra mod slots available, okay? Focus on the ones that I've mentioned before because we're looking for consistency, remember that. So now that you have a lethal loadout, there are a few things to consider to be very good bow player. You must follow these tips I'm about to give you to help you master the art of becoming a true hunter. Let's start off with not running into open and engaging your enemies. Remember, you have a bow, and the time you take to draw your bow when faced with multiple enemies, you're probably likely dead. Destiny 2 is still very much strong towards team shooting, so remember to only take on what you can handle. You are lethal, not invincible. Secondly, use your cover. When using a bow, you need to use cover because you are effectively using a slower weapon, which takes time to draw your arrows. The use of cover will make for nice peek shooting and tagging as many enemies as possible, taking them out of the fight. It can also be your escape route if things don't go to plan. Use your lanes. Knowing the hot lanes which enemy teams are likely to take will help you get some easy picks. When using a bow, enemies will be afraid to push you if you hold that lane well because of how much damage you can potentially do. However, don't be a bot and literally go to the same spot all the time. Good teams will pick up on that and counter you. This is why having the active radar whilst using the Oathkeepers comes in very handy. Play smart, not hard. Use your invisibility to get away from sticky situations or use it to flank the enemy team as they wouldn't be expecting you there. Although you're using a bow, use your primary when you need to. For example, an enemy may be one shot away from a kill. No need to waste time drawing a bow when you can kill with your hand cannon. Use the bow, but try not to always start off a fight with a bow if the situation doesn't call for it. You have a tether as your super. Obviously not the best super in the game, but it's a good counter to enemy supers, so use it to mainly suppress enemy supers, so save your tether to counter the enemy super. If you have an advantage to get a team wipe by tethering all enemies and you have your beefy teammates next to you, then by all means use it offensively. However, it's best used defensively. It's also worth noting that there might be a chance that you can get 2 tethers in a match, so don't be afraid to use it. Trust your build and practice. A good bow user believes in his build and will practice to get better. You have to be patient and let the enemy push you. Wait for enemies to make a mistake and then take advantage of that. Don't swap out your loadout because you lost a round or two. Believe in yourself, trust me, practice a lot, don't take it off for at least a month. Get comfortable with it, adapt, change your playstyle, and you will thank me later, I'm sure somewhere in the comment section, in the future maybe. Create distance. Destiny is a fast-paced game. Shotgun apes will rush you or fusion rifles may map you. It's important to keep your distance and pick off your enemy one by one. Shotgun apes won't be able to close a gap before you can delete them. Trust your build. If you are using a bow, you need to maintain a distance and not end up in a boxing ring playing Muhammad Ali. Wow, that's a lot of tips. Now let's move on to playing as a team or as a solo player. Whether you play solo or in a fire team, I highly recommend that you play with your teammates. When you're using a bow, you do so much damage that even if you can't get the finishing shot on your enemy, your teammates will most likely clean up the kills after you because you have left the enemy with little health. Seriously, bows are very beneficial to team play. So how about when you're in a 1v3 situation or your teammates got separated? Well, remember you have invisibility to help you disengage, vanish from the enemy and radar, therefore allowing you to reposition yourself with your team or by yourself to take on your enemy. Don't forget to look out for friendly rifts from warlocks that you can use to heal yourself or buff your weapon output damage. Moving on to team synergy and recommended subclass and class. So you have all the tools and information for becoming the bowmaster. However, you can take this build to a whole new level and a different dimension where enemies will literally lose their minds, teabag you, send you hate mail because they may not be able to counter your game plan. What is it, you ask? Well, if you really want to one-shot enemy players, then I would strongly suggest you play as a part of a fire team. Remember, Destiny offers very good build crafting and team play synergy. With the right mix of subclasses and class, it's highly beneficial and rewarding and hard to counter. I'm not going to go into the whole details and the science behind all of this, but my friend Yerda made a fantastic video covering in-depth details of team and subclass synergy where players can feed off each other's playstyles. So I'll put a link to his video, you can go check it out. So be sure to check out the video on his channel and understand what I'm talking about. So basically there are two things you can do to take this build to a whole new level. Ask one of your teammates to play on a warlock using the boots of the assembler and a Lumina hand cannon. When your warlock friend gets a kill with Lumina, he gets noble rounds, which he can pick up and buff you with the Blessing of the Sky perk, and he also gets this buff himself. This perk temporarily buffs your weapon damage and therefore allows you to one-shot enemy guardians. However, your warlock friend doesn't always have to get a kill to get this buff. By using boots of the assembler, your warlock friend can use an empowering rift and it will create 2 noble rounds which will seek your teammates and provide the damage bonus. This will still enable you to one-hit enemy guardians, leaving them salty and frustrated, sending their MNK and controllers flying in the bin. Lol. The second thing you can do to take this build to another level is by asking the third person on your fire team to run an aggressive class and subclass. They can use an Igneous Hammer, Steady Hand or True Prophecy, and they will be able to 2-tap guardians. The third friend of yours can preferably run a shotgun as well for enemy teams that push you aggressively, or a sniper for enemy teams who wish to keep their distance, because sniper will still one shot with the buff regardless of it being a body shot. And that's how you take this build to another level. Trust me, this will leave your enemies absolutely furious. So finally, we're moving on to fun facts about bows. Some of you may already know this, but this is what I have actually discovered on my journey. Did you know that bows actually have very good in-air accuracy? You might have seen me in the video, I was hitting some jump shots. I don't know why, but when I go in the air, it feels like the bows just, are very crispy and they seem to connect. Only hunters can keep a bow fully drawn while jumping in the air, well, by the way, so I'm sorry for Titans and Warlocks, you can't do this. Wow, I can't believe that I've given you the whole encyclopedia on becoming a better bow player. So go ahead Guardian, create a havoc in the Crucible, adapt a new playstyle, become the most feared Guardian, and most rewardingly, enjoy playing with bows. Please support my channel by dropping a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and share it with your friends. Thanks for dropping by. Stay safe and stay happy. I will see you with a bow someday.